outside, a little bit high on the feeling. Can't seem to focus. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting buzzed on rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to you. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty other from the minute that I met you. Smoking outside, trying to get your attention. You make me nervous. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting buzzed on rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to you. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty other from the minute that I met you. I know that we just met the other night, but I can't get you off my mind.
Come on, you make a man. Come on, you make a man. Come on, you make a man. Allez, Angers. Allez, Angers. Allez, Angers. Allez, Angers. Yo la 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 la. Yo la 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 la. Hey, c'est du follow. Yo la 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 la. C'est du follow. Yo la 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 la. Hey. Let's go, boys. Loes, Beige, Zwart, landen, bal, staan, liggen, bal.
Good morning and welcome back to the Elite Invites in Leuven, the Elite Invite 2024, the start of day 2, and bright and early we are going to see Wall City from Berlin in Germany against Gentle from Ghent in Belgium. Both these teams, as we see Wall City getting psyched up for the game. Both these teams with 1 win and 1 loss after gameplay yesterday. My name is Sean Colfer, bringing you this game, talking you through it. Both teams defeated Jet Set yesterday, the local team from Leuven, but both lost to Clapham. Wall City in a universe point game, very, very tight, very close, and Gentle in a 15-11 game that I was with those of you watching yesterday for. So these two teams who've both got very good recent pedigree in Europe, Gentle, have made a couple of semi-finals at EUCF recently. Wall City, one of the most talented squads in Europe, definitely the ability to get to that semi-final level. These two teams both looking to secure second in the pool here with all likelihood. Even if Jet Set beat Clapham, it's unlikely that the winner of this game will be beaten to second. So we are underway with Gentle pulling left to right to Wall City in white, Gentle in green. All wide open, Comrade Slur in the middle there. Well, a nice evenly movement there, but there's just a stone cold drop on a swing pass. And that gives Gentle their first opportunity to try and put a break in. Early movement from the Belgians here. Cotton goes back to Verreken, and Verreken throws to the far side. Verreken, Belgian open team player, gets the disc back. To Lander de Crane. Good cut from Paul Afori. Goes back to de Crane, big layout catch. De Crane throws that inside shot, and there it is. That is the first point of the game and a break for Gentle. Gentle really punishing a Wall City mistake there. It looked for a moment as though that inside shot to Pitian de Molinari was going to be a little too far. So you see that layout bid from Lander de Crane again. Fantastic catch. And just throws to the space on inside the mark. Pitian de Molinari makes the catch, and Gentle with a fantastic start to the game. Their game yesterday against Clapham, they went 4-0 down, conceded 4 breaks in a row. This time around, they are the one doing the breaking. Great start for the team from Belgium. This team made up of players obviously from Ghent, but a lot of those guys have played on Belgian open teams before. 3 key players in that point. Verreken, de Crane, and de Molinari, all reigning European champions from EUC. Verreken and de Molinari not with the team yesterday, so they've joined late. Huge boosts to get players of that ability. As the pull comes up from Gentle, and Wall City are going to get another opportunity to put that offensive point in. Bricked pull, so Wall will start from their own brick mark. Wall starting out in this horizontal formation. It looks as though Gentle are going to come in with a zone. It comes over to this near side from Rogers to Ricketts. Back with Rogers. Schlur again. Much nicer movement this time from Wall. A hammer over the top. There's lots of space there. Always a slight risk when you go overhead if it's not something you're used to doing, not something you practice, but plenty of space there for Leo actually to catch that goal. And a clean hold, an easy hold for Wall City, just what they needed after giving up that break first time round. You see the Gentle D's all prioritising getting close to the disc. The hammer over the top in the end. Pretty straightforward. Still, leave it to space, you've still got to execute it, so a good throw to even the game up at 1-1 from Hartley Greenwald. Wall City, I mean, I talked about Gentle and players they had that are international players. A lot of players who played at international level for Wall City as well. We see Andre Ridlow, number 17 in the middle here. Czech player who's come over to the team this year. Really good addition to Wall City. He's an excellent disc handler. Really adds a lot of dynamism to their lineup. But a lot of players who play for Germany on this team. They also have just added Ferdia Rogers, two-time European Player of the Year runner-up. One of the key handlers for Ranelagh when they won the title in 2022. One of the key handlers for Ireland Mixed as they won bronze last year at EUC. So a very good addition to Wall City's team. So Gentle with this now. Gentle looking for space against the saggy marks from Wall City, trying to slow down their progress. But Van der Vega and Boumalal moving it around quite nicely, although that throw quite low. Let's go around. Van der Vega goes around the mark. Ah, that's very close. The knee is down. And it does look as though Philip Kay has called it out. Discussion from what's happening on the sideline. Trying to determine whether people see it. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they came to us. We don't have, I don't think, a great view of it. His feet are certainly down. It's the left knee. The right knee, sorry. It's the right knee. Whether that right knee is on the line when he catches it. But it looks as though, in the absence of anything conclusive, we're sticking with the disc on the sideline here. Good outcome for everyone involved, I think. And Van der Voorde goes back inside. And Gentle again, moving around the back, although another nice break shot there. And this with Novak. Czech import for Gentle this year. And it looked as though it was shaping for a big throw there, didn't go. They take negative yards instead, back to the centre. On this near side, now with Moans. Van der Voorde goes deep. It's over the top. Can Novak get there? He bids, but no, it's just rolling away from him the whole time. Always going to be difficult. And he can't quite catch up to the flight of that disc. See, that disc just goes over his head. He's always tracking back left, and it's going to be difficult. He can't quite get there before it hits the deck. So Gentle can't get their first hold of the game. This is their first offensive point, unable to put it away. So Wall City's D-line is going to get their first look at scoring here. It's near side to Ned Garvey. Garvey open again. It's to Vlad Basov, I believe. Ridlow goes backwards. Ridlow again. Looking for something positive towards the end zone. And there is Basov in the back corner. Basov scores a pretty easy, smooth point for the Wall City offense there. The Wall City D-line. And both teams now have a break in the early going. Both teams struggling to execute their offense at the first time of asking. See that nice shot to Ridlow. Ridlow keeps the disc going, keeps that momentum going, and Basov just wide open at the back of the end zone. No one on him, no one picking him up. And it's a nice find from Philip Kay, I think. So Wall City going to go back out now to try and press that advantage. Obviously still early in all the games today. But Clapham up on jet set. In the other pool, La Fota and Chevron Action Flash are in a similar situation to these two teams. 1 win, 1 loss. Looking to secure second in the pool, and Very early, chevron up 2-1 there. So it's Arthur van der Weghe. Nice break, and then we come back into the middle of the field. Lovely offhand throw to get some momentum going for Gentle. And it's now with Aaron van der Weghe in the centre of the field, where he likes to be, surveying what's going on down there. Some nice big gainers for Gentle here. This offense is looking very smooth. They turn down the hammer. Very tight to the disc there, Arthur van der Weghe, but does get the reset. It comes back to his brother Aaron, who goes all the way across the centre of the field to DeForce. Rušák back to van der Weghe. Van der Weghe is looking for an option. Quite a lot on that one. Van der Weghe, but it was a nice catch. Back to van der Weghe, a lovely break. This happened with yesterday against Clapham for Gentle. They kind of slowed down towards the end zone. With DeForce. We've got van der Weghe on this near side again. Looking for an expansive option, but it's good D in the end zone by Wall City, but that is an absolutely fabulous break shot. Just leans out into that flick side to open up the angle. High release throw into the path of Rušák for the hold for Gentle's offense. Good patience by the Belgians against tough D from Wall City, but we are at 2-2. Each team with a hold and a break. As we see a replay of this, you see the cut come across from the right. Van der Weghe leans his weight over and just gets the high release flick to sit out in front of Rušák. Lovely throw. Always difficult when you've got a defense selling out to try and stop any unders, because they know that you can't really go over the top with as much ease when the field gets so compressed. And you've got cutter defenders staying at home as well in the back of the end zone. Just really compresses the space. Gentle stayed patient, did a good job working around in that. Nice throw, gets us to 2-2, and I think looks like we're set up for a pretty good game here. These teams both fighting to get a good position going into the quarter-finals. The Elite invite only 8 teams here, so every team does go to quarter-finals. This is very much a fight to see who has to play the second best team in the other pool, which, as I said, is going to end up being either Chevron Action Flash, the reigning UK champions, or BFD La Fotta, one of Europe's powerhouse teams. So Wall City go back to Ferdy Rogers in his own end zone. On this near side to Eicher. Good D from Gentle, pushing Wall City back. Rogers has it in his end zone again. That's not Rogers. That's Rogers. Right in his own end zone, and there's very few options here. A nice break. Greenwald grinding that space under, and Greenwald goes for a shot that's very low. Has he got too much on that? Just a little too much on that. Can't find Schleur. Slightly surprising that wasn't blocked in the middle of the stack. You saw a Gentle player leap to try and get there. The throw was very, very low, but a lot of power on it to get it as far as he did. Greenwald with, you can see everyone kind of get a bit nervous in their own end zone. Just tries that shot, comes out really low. Can't quite get blocked in the stack, but it's always going to be difficult for Schleur catching up to that throw with no sit on it whatsoever. And Gentle's D-line back out with a chance to take another point. Landed a grind here. Back to Simmons. Inside shot. Gentle players nearly some friendly fire there, but it's an inside shot, goes up. Some time underneath it, it's dropped. Dropped by Vliga, I believe. It is coming in over his head. Tough one to read when it's coming over your head like that, but it's great work by Schleur to get there and put him off the catch. But Vliga, I think, is going to be disappointed with that one. Got both his hands on it. Opportunity to take another break for Gentle. That would have been big for the Belgians. Instead, the disc is with Rogers, and Wall City looked to come all the way downfield, but it's a tough catch in the end. I think the player moves, it's just as Rogers throws it. Greenwald with another flat hook down the field. This time though, Eichler is there to catch it. It's back to Conrad Schlur in the middle of the field. Schlur to Rogers. Rogers, that lefty break. So reliable with that. And Paul Herkins, space on the front corner to reel it in. Taylor 2 hooks for Wall City there. The first one from Hartley Greenwald did not come off, but the second one perfectly to Leo Eichler. And they get the hold. A casual catch from Conrad Schlur there. And then a casual offhand throw. But this break, we've seen it so many times from Ferdy Rogers. Lefties always look smoother, but also means they've got that different angle. That a round break becomes so much easier, so much quicker to get out than the righty backhand around. And it's a nice hold in the end for Wall City. But that drop from Vliega, he'll be hoping that he's not regretting that come at the end of this game. Philip Kay holding the disc, getting ready to pull. Kay, the German open side last year, playing mixed this year, going to Australia. Big backhand pull. Boomalal fields and comes to Aaron van der Weghe. The zone from Wall City to an arrowhead. Gentle just moving it around the back, fairly comfortable doing it until space opens up for that scuba. Novak back to van der Weghe. Waller out of that zone, we're in match now. Gentle able to find space in those unders as they were last time around as well. Van der Weghe across the field. Bruchak goes downfield and Van der Weghe a little isolated here, looking for something. Finds Novak, but it appears there's some kind of call. And the disc goes back to Van der Weghe, and Novak resets. Gentle with 6 people upfield here. Not necessarily a bad thing. You can certainly run from a 1-6, but it doesn't look to me as though it is the plan necessarily here. Vlad Basov indicating where the disc is coming in at, and we are back underway. Van der Weghe looking downfield. It's the hammer across the field to Boomalal. Arthur Van der Weghe on his near side now. This was brother Aaron. Arthur's got space again, but Aaron doesn't want that. Set goes negative after a few more seconds. And Gentle were grinding those unders really well, but they've been limited a little for the last couple of passes. Although Novak finds space, goes to Arthur Van der Weghe. We're going to see that hammer again. We're not. Instead, it's an offhand throw to Aaron. Aaron goes up the line to Arthur Van der Weghe. Drops that left foot in on the front cone. A nice hold in the end for Gentle, but it certainly looked like it got difficult for them there for a little while. Wall City able to stop their progress. We see the offhand throw. Passov's underneath. And just the throw over the top. And nice footwork from Arthur Van der Weghe to put that foot down and secure the point.
Because I heard from you, fire, and from Vlad were in it. Yeah. Okay,
So 3-3 now. These teams look very well matched. In the other game in this pool, we went to 3-2, trading 3-2, clap them up, but Jet Set have scored 3 in a row, including a Callahan, to go 5-3 up on the reigning European champions. Clapham, who had a short roster yesterday because of a wedding coming up today. Even shorter today. Some players who were here yesterday have gone back to the UK. So they're going to be running with a fairly limited group here, so we'll see how they do against Jet Set and beyond. But now Wall City back out on offense, trying to go punch for punch with Gentle in this game. Rogers goes backwards, nothing upfield. Gentle doing a good job of mucking up those passing lanes, making it difficult. Ricketts with this now. Goes across the field. Greenwald back to Ricketts. Comes all the way across the field there. Wall City's swinging around, doesn't look too troubled, but they're not making huge gains as we see that disc go up. And I think that's a little far for Hartley Greenwald. He's been on the throwing end of some of those big shots, but they're on the receiving end. Can't reel that one in. Wall City's deep shots very aggressive and very flat. Everyone they've thrown so far has been very flat. Really has to be on the money because it's so difficult for a receiver to catch up to if there's no air underneath it. There's going to be no prospect of that sitting, no prospect of you running to chase, running to catch up to it. It has to be into the hands of the receiver or it is going to be too far. P.T. Andy Milnare, usually known for his downfield prowess, but now he's picking up disc for Gentle. Solidly in his own end zone. Very expansive, bladey break. Wall City's O-line really pinning Gentle back here. Except Milnare was winding a huck up there, but puts it away. Instead comes to Afori, the lefty. Just too far there. Good bid to try and get there. Looks like by Cotton, but just a little too much on that. And already a little frustration maybe with the Gentle players to their teammates about the fact that there was no downfield movement there. Third-year Rogers brings the disc in. Break. Another break. And an offhand throw from Paul Ricketts to Paul Herkins for the score. And Wall City 4-3 up. Gentle had an opportunity there, but just couldn't get the disc moving as we see these two breaks from Wall City, and then the fake opens up the middle of the end zone. And it's a fairly easy score there as we see a little more frustration from Gentle. Both teams clearly know how important this game is. Very keen to win it, very keen to put themselves in a good position going into quarters, and I think it was Benjamin Varican frustrated that his team didn't pick up Herkins coming through the middle. So Rogers and Greenwald chatting there as they come off the field. New teammates this year, but two very good players. They're working out how they can play together. Third-year Rogers kind of dropped into the O-line here on Wall City. Always challenging when you're putting in a new central handler. They have so much agency over where the disc goes, and they touch it so much that it has a big effect on the offense. If they're brand new, it takes some time to bed everything in while they're learning their teammates. But if you are dropping in a centre handler player, I think there's few better in Europe to be doing that with than third year. And another excellent centre handler just threw that pass. Here he is back on the disc there in Aaron van der Vega. Boomalau. These two doing a lot of work for this team. Novak gets it back. Tries to go across the field, but just straight into the D there. And now Wall City's D-line with another opportunity. Looking for a deep shot. Instead take the underneath, and it's now with Kay. Kay has an option deep, chooses not to go with it. Blade over to the far side instead. A very expansive fake. Good bid. And Garvey goes to the end zone, but hasn't quite got the link up there with Mukametov. It's a good throw and a great defensive bid that can't quite get there. But Gentle's O-line now has this back, and Boumalal will look for an oh, and a great layout bid on D. I think he got a hand to that, but not enough to put off Van der Vega, who's now goes to his brother Arthur on the sideline, back with Aaron. Boumalal on the near side. Boumalal winds up that backhand, doesn't take it, but the nice gain is a Novak. Arthur Van der Vega goes for the around. Good decision making here from Gentle, taking what is he giving them, but now tough spot for Rushak, but that is a really nice around break to Aaron Van der Vega. He was in a difficult position there and gets out of it with a wonderful throw. So Gentle back on level terms here. Boumalal winds up, and this is the bid on D. Huge bid, and he definitely gets a hand on that, but only succeeds in slightly pushing it backwards, and Van der Vega able to maintain concentration. So you see it's tough here. He's got two people behind him. Aaron Van der Vega finds space, and that is a really good around backhand. Must have been a pretty high stall as well. Difficult position, but excellent concentration and execution from Rushak to put Gentle back on level terms here. So it's 4-4 here. Clapham have a break. Back, so they're 6-5 down now. Chevron have scored 2 breaks. La Fota scored a break with Tal Osri. Those of you who watched the Toms final will have seen Osri make 2 outrageous plays in the last 2 points of the game. Particularly his layup block on Universe Point was amazing. He threw the assist for a La Fota break, but Chevron have got 2 back in response, and they lead 6-4 there. While Mooncatchers and Albert are trading. As are these two teams, with Wall City running down the field. It was a little fumble of a disc there, but he manages to keep hold of it. That's with Rogers. Greenwald with the disc. As a pick is called, it looks like it's going back to Rogers. Rogers, marked by Varican. Lefty, scuba over the top to Greenwald. Greenwald with a nice inside shot to Rogers. Zuarts sliding in, look to get there first, but it looks as though there is a call. You see Zuarts at the very last minute come in on the right-hand side of the screen. There he is, just catching up to that throw. He's marking Schlur. Oh, he gets a hand on it. It's very tight as to whether Rogers gets there, but it looks as though everyone's pretty happy for it to remain with the Irishman in the centre of the field. Zuarts recovers onto Schlur. Another pick called. This goes back to Ricketts. Ricketts, such an important play for the German under 23 open side last year. The lefty offhand, lovely execution by Ricketts there. Ricketts finding Hartley Greenwald at the front of the end zone with that cheeky offhand pop. And Greenwald just able to run onto it with a little more force than his mark, and just able to reel it in despite the best efforts of the defender. So another hold for Wall City. They lead 5-4 here.
Whenever we're ready, set the reset up on the big side. So don't ever go to the back side. Whatever may break or open, just stay on the big side so we've got the big side. Yeah? That makes sense? Same for you,
You see a pretty similar D lineup for Wall City as we've seen in the past. Philip Kay, who's been throwing booming pulls so far with the disc. And that's another deep pull. Well, it looks as though it's a little too deep out of the back of the end zone. And Boomerang will bring it to the brickmark. So Boomerang with the disc as we lose the field audio there. We'll see if we can work out what's going on. Boomerang back to Van der Vega. Again, this saggy set from the Germans to try and limit downfield. Basov close there, but Gentle able to work through it. There's a lateral cut there, some space just in front of the disc. Van der Voode, it looks like. A nice break to Van der Vega. Aaron Van der Vega with the disc. Looking for something downfield. Comes to his brother, Arthur. Arthur, cheeky scoover over the top to Aaron. That's a nice offensive hold from Gentle. They worked through that saggy set really easily, really comfortably. And as soon as the disc was moving, it never really stopped. And another hold for 5-5. Lovely little fake and cut from Arthur, and then as there's a switch, Aaron runs right past it and catches the scuba. So 5-5 now. These two teams both got a break early on. First offensive point from both teams was a little bit of a misfire. But since then, both have been much better and we've been trading. So we're really just looking to see who's going to make the mistake that kind of switches the momentum here. It's DeCrania pulls. Gentle, very offside. Ferdy Rogers with the disc in the centre of the field. Cut from Greenwald, who looks deep. Another pretty flat huck, but it looks as though that receiver has plenty of time and space to reel that in. Heinrichs with the catch. A set play from Wall City, and that is about as easily as they've scored in this entire game, really. Rogers, you see Greenwald coming across from that far side. Space to throw that backhand, no one anywhere near him. No one near Heinrichs either, really. Has plenty of time to watch it into his hands. And after the discussion that Gentle were having to try and work out how to limit Wall, get the disc off them. All for naught. Wall City back out after a quick hold. It's an important point in the game here as we go into half-time. Both teams are going to want to make sure they get a hold here so they don't come out with that, or they don't let their opponent get that mini break going into half. It'll be Gentle coming out on offense in the second half. Wall also a bit offside there, but not too bad. Not as much. Is there a gradation of offside? It's either offside or not, I suppose. Saggy said again from Wall, which has limited Gentle's progress at times, but they work through it pretty comfortably every time. It's certainly not caused them any turnover issues. Big hammer comes across from Van der Vegge, but Novak had plenty of space. He finds Boumalal. Novak opened back in the centre of the field. Back to Boumalal. And Gentle, I'll play this 1-6 as they get closer to the end zone. And a lovely shot to the end zone there. With a very... a very Toby de Crane-esque celebration by Wolf Osterling that nearly backfires for the 20-year-old. The throw from De Force left him plenty of space, plenty of time to watch it into his hands, and he extends them widely just as his teammate Toby does. You see the defender kind of falls over, and oh, nearly there, nearly there. We definitely bubbled that one, didn't we? We definitely bubbled that one. That would have been embarrassing, but he's caught it. 6-6, and it looks as though... Is there a timeout, or is this just the team talking? No timeout, doesn't look like. Play's been going on at a good pace here. 12 points, 39 minutes. Team's not really wasting much time. We haven't seen that many turnovers. Landed a Crane with the disc. Runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year last year in Europe. A great season for Gentle, Belgium Under-24s and Belgium Open. Sent it again to Rogers. Rogers looking for an option. There's Schleur. And that throw to Greenwald is on point. There was two players around him, and I think with two bodies around him, he just couldn't quite catch it, couldn't quite have the concentration to get there. And it's now with De Crane, and it's moving nicely for the Belgians. De Sluwe looking for an option. Not one in front of him, so goes back to Afori. Afori with the disc. Taha outside the end zone. Afori looking for an option again. Breaks slightly backwards, but just keeps the disc moving. And it's there with the Sluver again. De Crane. Afori. Fakes that lefty scuba. De Crane. Big blading throw across the field. Trying to hit the space. But it's just too flat. A little too aggressive for the receiver to catch up to. We talked about unforgiving shapes on the hooks earlier. They're very flat, difficult to catch up to when there's no sit. When there's the angle on, like there was on that disc, it's going to drop quickly and it's going to be really difficult to catch up to. And is this a less awful Wall? Rogers with a flat inside comes to the center of the field with Herkins, and Herkins calls a timeout, first one of the game here, as the teams take a quick break. So will we. We'll be back with you shortly.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my! Somehow they do it!
Welcome back to Leuven and the Elite Invite. My name is Sean Colfer, and you rejoin me for the final pool game in the Open Division between Wall City from Berlin and Gentle from Ghent, just down the road from Leuven. Both teams started the game off with a break on their first offensive possession. Wall City broken on the very first point in the game, then got a hold and then got a break of their own on the Gentle first offensive possession. Since then, we have been trading. Wall City did turn on this point, a drop from key receiver Hartley Greenwald, but they have the disc back now, and they're looking to maintain that offensive execution and get a chance to break for half. So it comes downfield now to Herkins, Schlur. Schlur back to Greenwald. Is there a tip on that disc? It's a great catch by Greenwald. Looks as though there's a call here. Not sure what the discussion is between De Kranje and Schlur. We see no hand signals. It looked like De Kranje got a big touch on that. Greenwald with a big bid to get there and save it. But whatever it was, the disc is back in Schlur's hands. Schlur comes around to Rogers. Rogers with the disc. Nice inside shot by Zeitler. Really nice offhand leading reset. Another inside, and Wall looks as though it might be off to the races down that side. Linnemanstens instead. Schlur. Is that a push pass? Creative from Schlur to Ricketts. Ricketts to Heinrichs. Heinrichs looking for an option. Really good around. Rogers leaves his feet to secure it. Throws the lefty inside, just out in front of both receivers too much. Schlur goes to ground for it, as does, I think that's Herkins, not Linnemanstens. I think they're both wearing number 21, but that looks to me to be Herkins. He's shaken up on the play and takes a sub. As we see again, this very nice around from Heinrichs. Wrist snap as he positions himself out there. Rogers goes to ground, gets his pivot foot down. I think just doesn't quite read Herkins' shoulders correctly, and Herkins did get a hand on that, but just taken out of his hand by the ground. Andre Ridlo, the Czech star, replaces Herkins, and it is a second opportunity on this point for Gentle's D-line. And it looks as though the Gentle D-line has also taken advantage of that injury call and brought on Aaron van der Vega, which is, I think, a very smart call, bringing on a centre handler when you have an opportunity to get a key break. So Gentle with the disc in their own end zone. Van der Vega's looking for an option before he comes out of that cut. Now out of their own end zone, but still scratching around to try and find yards. Good D by Wall City's O-line here. De Kranje. Come all the way across the field. Stacrania again, who's not shy about sending those big throws up. And Afori with an absolutely fantastic read. That looked all the world like Heinrichs was going to get there. But Afori reads that beautifully. Comes down with it in the left hand. His team are excited, and rightly so. Fantastic catch from Paul Afori. Been handling more for this Gentle team. Spent most of his time around the back with the disc in his hands, but showing he can get it done downfield there as well. Stacrania winds up, big expansive throw as you come to expect from him. Afori looks like he was very early there. That's just a great catch. Right at the high point of where it's possible for him to get it. And what a break for Gentle. The first break since the third point of the game. Their second of the half. And they're now in a position where they can break to take half and then come out on offense in the second half. Big break in this game. Other game in this pool was Clapham and Jet Set. Jet Set were up 5-3. Clapham broke to take half, get it back on serve 8-7, and the teams are trading in the second half now. Fossa and Chevron also trading. Chevron took half there. Mooncatchers and Alba have been trading as well. Tight games all around. That's what happens when you get the best teams in Europe all playing together. Not much to separate them, just as we've seen on this field. Pretty speculative bid there. It's with Rogers. Schleur doesn't like that cut from Eichler. But that throw down the line, there's so little margin for error there. That is absolutely lovely. Great throw from Ricketts. He'd be confident to take that. It was Eichler's cut. Wasn't quite the right angle. He turned and went deep, and Ricketts came under, turned, and absolutely no hesitation in sending that one down. See Eichler straighten it back out, potentially expecting that. And that is lovely execution on a very tough throw. To bring us to what many of my colleagues like to refer to as Galaxy Point. 7-7. The Wall City D-line here going to have to take a break to get us back on serve. Must be still in the point of the season where they're kind of trying stuff out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Because I'm relatively surprised they're not taking a timeout here. I think you would see most teams in this situation take a timeout, rest some of your key players, get them back out on the field, whether they're O or D, whether they played the last point or not. So you can try and get this point, and then you have another rest for half. But Wall City chooses to just push all the way through. And K with a big pull. And a good pull chase means Gentle with Aaron van der Vega in their own end zone. Boomalal. Again, Wall City sagging off, taking away the unders, trying to prevent Gentle from getting any movement. But van der Vega takes that deep shot. His brother's there. His brother has position, and his brother takes it down. Arthur van der Vega sends us to halftime. Kay can't get there. Kay had the height advantage, but van der Vega had the position the whole way through. It's a good spot from Aaron van der Vega. See his brother going deep. Lovely throw. Out in front of him. Arthur's able to keep going. As you can see, he has position the whole time there. And reel it in. Good hold for Gentle. Good half for them. They take half 8-7. They're coming out in the second half on offense. And we'll be back with you shortly to bring you that second half. Hello and welcome back to Leuven. A very tight first half between Gentle and Wall City here. Gentle, in the end, able to get that break just before half. An amazing catch from Paul Afori going deep. Usually a handler, but skies to reel it in and put his team up. And they are now coming out on offense to try and solidify this advantage. Wall City's D-line unable to get a break on the last point of the first half. They'll have a second opportunity on the first point of the second. These two teams both, as I've said before, among the best teams in Europe at the moment. They're both looking to qualify for EUCF this year after good showings in the last few years. Neither yet on the EUCS rankings. This is their first tournament contributing to that. But it's a fair bet that both will be in the running as we get closer to EUCF later in the year. The Van der Vegge brothers both handling here, fielding the pull. Arthur goes over to the far side. Arthur unleashes that one. Huge throw. Van der Vegge going for it, but couldn't quite read it over his head. And Mukametov was the one who was able to catch it. And now Wall City's D-line does have a chance. Ridlow goes across the field. On this near side, back to Ridlow from Ben Joseph. Andre Ridlow, another new addition for Wall City this season. Finds a nice big gainer up the line. Matsurek to Basov. Basov looking for an option. There's not a huge amount there. Looks like there's a violation of some kind. Either a fast count or a disc space. Contact potentially. Unclear. But whatever there is, there's a discussion and we're coming back in with Basov. Looks like some contributions from Ferdy Rogers on the sideline. Slows us down slightly, but Basov on the disc. Around to Ridlow. Ridlow with a big break. Very expansive throw. Basov wins that front cone, but the problem was that two of them did it at the same time. And in the end, that is threaded through to Philip K. Very tough throw for Matsurek to make. But that is exactly what Wall City needed at the start of this second half. Unable to get that break at the end of the first. Gentle going in with the mini break, able to take a 2-point lead. As we see, Basov and Kay both win the front cone, which means there's no space for either of them. So that's a really delicate little throw to Philip Kay. Back on serve at 8-8 here. Not back on serve, sorry. No, the Gentle with the break in the first half means that they have an opportunity to go ahead here. So Wall City still put back, but huge, huge mental boost for them. We are at the very least back trading. As we see Conrad Schlur come out on this D-line. He's been playing offense up to this point. One of the best defenders in Europe. One of the best defenders in the world. Adding him to a D-line is always going to work out well for you. Otherwise, a very similar, familiar line for Wall City. Another big pull from the goal scorer, Philip Kay. So Boomalal back to Aaron Van der Vegge and his brother. So that was Arthur, now this is Aaron. Arrow with the offhand throw. And Gentle through that saggy set again. Working through nice and quickly. Arthur van der Vega finds the easy throw to Novak. That disc just started moving and never really stopped. Wall City were not able to stop that flow. And Novak, with the goal, puts Gentle back in front. See a throw down the line to Van der Vega. Novak has that space. There's a handoff that doesn't quite work there. You see the point. But communication backfires slightly. Novak able to find space and score the goal. Two Czech players on this field today. Ridlow and Novak. Played together for a long time. Ridlow on the Czech Open team last year, he got injured in the middle part of the tournament at EUC with a pretty nasty cut to his finger. Kept him out for a few games. But the Czechs really pushed, I think it was Germany in their quarter-final, very, very hard. I think if Ridlow had been available, it could have been a different story for the Czechs. They could have changed their seeding slightly, had a shot at making semis. Very talented team. As that pull just drifts in the air and floats out. So Ferdia Rogers will take it to the Brit mark. First time seeing Rogers not in a Ranelagh shirt. Kind of a rebuilding year for the team from Dublin, although they're still doing very well in Europe. Still a lot of very talented players there. Rogers choosing to try something different. Schlur back into the middle. That looks to be Herkins back on the field after being shaken up a couple of points ago. Rogers with the disc after a nice inside throw. Greenwald. Greenwald with a expansive throw, and Schlur through some contact from They'll talk about it. De Carano, I think, saying he was able to reach around and get the disc, but did look as though there was some chest to back contact on that play. Very aggressive option from Greenwald to put it up there, especially considering that Schlur is being marked by one of Gentle's best defenders. It does look as though the contact maybe after the disc is already gone, but there's definitely some contact in the air. Seemingly pointing to his head, saying maybe he's felt Carano's arm on his head. I could see that. See that being an argument, and he'd probably be aware of it in his peripheral vision as he's going up to catch it. Still discussing, still miming. And it looks as though it's an accepted foul call, which means it's going to go to Schlur. It doesn't look like they know the rule of it, and there we go. And Schlur touches the ground, which he doesn't need to do, but there we go. That's what happens when you play USAU. And Schlur, quick pass to Greenwald, and Wall City with a hold after that long discussion, but a good discussion, probably a good outcome in the end. Didn't quite see the touch on head first time round. Close for, as I say, the option from Greenwald was very aggressive. And it floated a little too much maybe, but Wall City able to get a hold in the end. And keep the game close, keep trading, even if Gentle are trading up after their break in the first half. So I'll take a look at those around the field for you, as we see a replay of his pass. Greenwald squaring up his defender and beating him to the sideline. Nice footwork. Lafosse and Chevron still trading, although it's been a game of runs more than trading. Sheriff went 6-4 up after 3 points in a row. Lafosse responded 3 points of their own later in the game, to just after half. They got a break, 3 breaks out of half to go 9-8 up 10-9 to La Fotta. Clapham have opened up a 2-point lead on Jet Set. A run of breaks in the second half. They're 13-11 up there. And Mooncatchers and Alba. Mooncatchers also 2-point lead after a break late in the first half. So Boomalal with the disc for Gentle. There's a pick call by Philip K marking Arthur van der Vega. So play stops, but we are going again. That beautiful footwork to juke Philip K out. Find some space. Lefty break to his brother. Nice catch with the left hand. And Van der Vega goes deep to Arthur. Can Arthur get there? No, he can't get there. Too flat. We've seen a few of those from Wall City. That's, I think, the first one of those we've seen from Gentle. We've got a couple that were too bladey, but that one's just too flat, just out in front. And now Wall City's D-line with an opportunity to get this back on serve and put their noses in front. They clear the space in front of the disc. Philip K winds up that backhand, but Van der Vega puts a foot out there to say, no, you are not having that one. On the far side now. It's an inside lane there, but instead we come across to this near side and Ned Garvey, but it looks like there's a call, and he'll go back to Philip K. No one catching up to Garvey. Means I'm slightly unclear as to why it just doesn't go to him. Doesn't look like it made a great deal of difference. I think the discussion here is whether it should go to the throw before K's throw, but instead Novak will catch up here. I fully understand why that would be the case, but well, we're doing it anyway. Everyone's set.
It makes it seem like you're just like being an asshole for the sideline.
Well, there's definitely some disagreement. And instead, Garvey goes into the middle of the field. Novak looks quite unhappy about the whole situation. A lot of pointing, gesticulating. Basov here. Pointing. Boomal joining in with the pointing. Lots of pointing. Everyone else pointing. Oh, there's Van der Vega pointing. K's pointing now. Van der Vega responds with his own point. More pointing from Basov. Discs go back to the far side. I think that means Gentle won the pointing. That would be my assessment of the situation. And we're back. And it is with K. A little further up the field, but very similar situation. And a big backhand from K. He's very well known for those. Basov underneath it. Takes it down over Boomalal. Wall City with a break. That puts them back ahead, and now we are back on serve. This is a good start to the second half by this Wall City D-line. Taking advantage of that slide overthrow. Philip K finds some space, steps around Van der Vega and gets that backhand out. And Basov up against the handler Boomalal, goes up first, goes up higher, and takes it down for the break. Big, big point for Wall City. They were down at half, but managed to come out and get that break to get back on level terms. It's 3-1 to them in the second half here. The Germans finding a second gear. And now they are up 10-9. Basov's second goal of the game. See Kay staying out, Ridlow's out here. Basov staying out. Another big pull from Kay right at the back of the end zone, and Arthur van der Vege's not free, although manages to find some space for himself, and his brother Aaron finds him. Two of them linking up again there, so it's Arthur on this near sideline, fakes the big backhand. Some sagging marks again from Wall City, and Aaron finds space. DeCrania. Gentle crossing players over here. They know how important this point is. Moans goes back to Van der Vega. Crania again. Novak. Novak down the line. Finds Moans. Moans finds Varikin, who slips, and there's a pick called as Van der Vega goes to the line. Yeah, you can see, looks like Kay just coming around. Just gets in the way of his teammate. Pick caught on the sideline by Ridlow. This gentle power line, working the disc up the field. Doesn't come back to the centre, it's still Van der Vega on that sideline. Look back to Varikin. Varikin again turns down the throw to the sideline, instead goes down the line. That's DeCrania. Fakes the hammer. Back to Van der Vega. Van der Vega does take that break throw to Varikin. Jensen operating a bit more space now. Nice footwork again from Arthur van der Vega. Varikin again. Two cuts into the same space, but DeCrania does get it. Oh, with a big layout D. What a play by the Czech. A dish to Wall City this year. As soon as that throw came out of the hand, it looked a little risky. Varikin didn't have as much space as DeCrania potentially thought, but Ridlow explodes off the ground, up and horizontal, behind there, and up that right foot and gets there first. Brilliant defensive play by Ridlow. You can see he's pumped, his teammates are pumped on the sideline as well. And the big huck has gone up. Wall City with the disc on the end zone line now. It's with Ned Garvey. Looking for an option, comes backwards. Basov and Ridlow both in that space, and Basov doesn't have a mark, so Ridlow clears through. Pick called as the disc moves. We see Philip Kay again, another big backhand. Has much less time to wind that one up, but is still able to get that throw out in front of the receiver. And that is catch as well. Big Wall City plays all over the field. Ridlow with the disc. Looking for option, looks at Kay. Kay goes up the line. It's a hammer for Ridlow, it's no space at all. And Kay with the catch. Wall City are flying, metaphorically and literally here. Flying all over the field. Their confidence is sky high. Gentle need to really reset here and get back into this game. Because since half, that is 4-1 to Wall City. They are fully on top. In 9, their first 2-point lead of the game. And that sideline is up. Ridlow after his amazing D. That hammer throw. Small window to throw into, but Kay had space. Van der Vega was leaving him that space, thinking the throw was never going to come. I assume Gentler taking a timeout there. Probably a good idea. Will take a timeout so I can calm myself down. Back with Terriley.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my! Somehow they do it!
Welcome back to Leuven, the Elite Invites, final pool game of the Open Division here. Wall City and Gentle. Gentle took off 8-7 with a breakup coming out on offense, but it has been 4-1 to Wall City in the second half, and we just saw a point where the Germans were flying all over the field. Huge block from Ridlow, huge layout grab just to keep on the end zone line, and then a hammer into no space at all from Andre Ridlow to Philip K to get the point. And Wall City, with all that momentum, really on top. Gentle decided to take time out to try and stop that momentum, get themselves back on track, and try and put in a hold so they can get a foothold to come back in this game. Quick round of what else is going on around the field. Clapham 4-12 on Jet, 14-13. Jets have just scored. So Clapham going out on offense with 2 chances to win that game. Mooncat just 12-9 up on Alba, and La Fotta 12-11 up on Chevron. So all tight games, and we'll stay with this one as Aaron van der Vegge breaks around with his brother Arthur. Verikin finds space upfield with Van der Vude. Caught after a fumble by Verikin. And so finding some space here, but not challenging the Wall City defense in any great way so far. Aaron back to Arthur. Arthur turns down a deep shot and throws an offhand lefty that just does not come off at all. He's thrown quite a few of those in this game, this weekend so far, that have come off beautifully, but that one not quite there. And this is Ferdia Rogers out on the D-line for Wall City. He's crossed over plenty of times for Ranelagh, but this is the first time I've seen him do it for the Germans. And they have gone down the field with Rogers just playing pick and pop. Comes into Rogers in the second, and that is a wide open cutter at the front of the end zone. That's Joel Ben Joseph, I think. All the space in the world, and Wall City really pressing that advantage. Gentle. We saw this a little against Clapham yesterday. They're getting a bit caught under the wave here, and really need to find a way to get themselves back into the game. Speaking of Clapham, they have won against Jet Set, so they're top Pool A, undefeated. 3 wins, but only with a goal difference of 7, as we see that throw from Rogers to Ben Joseph. Just no one on Ben Joseph at all. So Clapham top in the pool, 3 wins, but only a goal difference of 7. Shows you just how small it's been. Jet Set, 3 losses, goal difference of -8. Really close all the way around. Wall City 3 up here. That would put them second in the pool, mean they cross against the Love, La Fotta and Chevron. Chevron just held to go 12-11, so they're looking for breaks to get back in that one. City here, again putting out largely a very similar looking D-line. Ridlow's back on, Philip K, Basov's there. Players who've all made big plays and had a big impact on the game. That throw, first throw, I think from Boumalal. It's nice from Aaron van der Vegge, and just too much on it. Looking to an unmarked player, but it's just over his head. And that is the kind of thing that starts happening when things aren't working, and it looks as though there's an injury call from Rushak, trying to stretch up to catch that. On comes, I think, Ukraine and, or is it Zwart? It's one of the two. And Wall City take the opportunity to bring on Paul Ricketts, one of their top offensive players. And off we go. So Gentle with a very strong lineup here. They've got Zwart, they've got Ukraine, they've got Demulinare. All very good defensive players to try and get this one back. Break goes round. Okay. Oh, that is another incredibly expansive throw from Wall City. That same side of the field blade to Basov. Very tough to stop if it's on target. And that very much was on target. And that keeps Wall City's roll going in the second half. Wall City living up to their reputation, singing the Vega Boys here. The Vega Boys are a Dutch band, so not quite the German music scene, but very popular in Germany, I'm sure. As a lot of that Europop style music tends to be. Maybe we'll see David Hasselhoff later on. That's just it's a heat check throw, that one. It's like with everything's coming off, might as well give this one a go as well. And it does come off. And that is a 5-point run now for Wall City. They were 9-8 down, and they have scored 5 in a row to bring themselves all the way up to 13-9. And now with an opportunity to close the game out in pretty short order. The whistle has gone. So if Gentle get this hold, Wall City's O-line will have 4 chances to win. But if Wall City break, it'll be a game to 15, and Gentle will need to score 6 to win. Another good pull by Wall City. Leaves Gentle just outside their own end zone. Varikan with the disc. Looking for an option. Not many, but it's a gorgeous inside throw. So Munari comes back. Oh, what a big layout block. Wall City finding every play here. That looked like a nice inside throw from Cotton, but read perfectly by Heinrichs, and that is a beautiful layout block. But that's also a nice layout block from Wolf Osterlink, I believe. And now the disc is back with Gentle. That is the first time that Wall City's D-line has turned this half. Shots they've had, they've been so far. And that is indeed Wolf Osterlink going high, taking it out of the air. Some disagreement about positioning here, but the disc remains with Cotton, and it's back with him again now. Looking for something there. Novak had some space, poach off the front of the end zone, but a good read by Van der Vega to find the space. Osterlink comes to Cotton. Cotton throws that inside. Novak has time and space. Really important for Gentle that they really desperately needed that. Didn't want to dig themselves too deep a hole there. But the hole is already pretty imposing. That is a 13-10 lead for Wall City, and we're now in a game to 14. As we see this nice inside throw, just splits the two defenders, sits it up for Novak to run to. Not quite enough underneath it for Maturek to get onto it. He's already got 1D in this game, but couldn't get a second one there. You expect to see strong Gentle D-line out here now. Every point then is do or die. Although no decline on this, looks as though a 4 will be the one pulling. So the Germans with an opportunity to put this one to bed. As a 4 pulls, looked like everyone was onside there. Pretty good pull, well fielded. So Wall start basically just past their own brick on this sideline. Rogers, it's Greenwald, who's been looking for those deep shots in this one there for him to take this time around. Instead, tries the inside shot, but that defensive play by Simons, I think, put off the receiver, and it is a drop, and Gentle have the disc back with a chance to extend this game. A 4 makes it easy. Ooh, close. A little bit of bumping in the middle of the field there. Gentle looking for space downfield, quite find it. We're moving it quite freely in the backfield, but not making any great gains yet. It's the Wall O-line doing a good job of limiting them. Switch there as well, and another switch. Gentle have made maybe 2 or 3 meters here because they've gone backwards again. Still in the same area of the field, big layout bid. Rogers doesn't get there in time. Around to a 4-y. A 4-y with a deep shot on the break side. That looks to be a good one, and it is a good one. Taken down by Van der Moere. The 4-y, once he found that space on the break side, took that deep shot straight away, no hesitation. Van der Moere reels it in. As a break for Gentle, could we be about to see a comeback here? Gentle gave up that run. That run to Wall City. They gave up runs to Clapham yesterday, but they were able to pull themselves back into it. We've seen this Gentle team mental strength before. As we see this throw into the center of the field, there was space for it. I think it was Herkins, but you can see throwing himself out. Simu puts off the receiver. Rogers tries that bit there. Can't quite get there. Ahead of Van Burgert. And then the throw goes here. We see again Van Burgert, and Van Burgert is the one who gets that break around to a 4-y. Turns and rips it downfield straight away past the force of Eichler. So Jamulinari and De Bruyne both back here. Looks like that Veree as well. Strong D-line for Gentle. Zwarts. As the Wall City offense looks to put this one away for a second time. Rogers with the disc. They clear that space on the other side, and in comes Schlur. Schlur to Herkins, who goes to ground to make that catch. Back with Rogers. Across the field to Eichler. Eichler with a big shot. That's high. That's hanging. That looks to be drifting outside the field as well. DeCraw just knocks it away from Schlur. It's always going to be a tough catch, even if you get there ahead of the Belgian. You can see it's drifting out of bounds there. And De Cranje definitely... Oh, De Cranje's left foot comes down maybe just inbound, so... Schlur would have been able to make a kind of Superman play on that one, but Lander got there first, so... He didn't have an opportunity to do so. Good battle between those two. Two of the best downfield players in Europe last year. So Gentle with another chance. Another chance to put a point in here, and it looks as though there is a foul called in the stack immediately. Heinrich's calling that. So it's with Jamulinari. Peel off in the stack. Oh, can't quite get there. Instead, there is an open player downfield. Vliga makes sure. Cotton again. Cotton looking. De Cranje wins that battle with Schlur. Gets to the open side and with a hammer across the field, and it's caught for another score. Another break for Dol. Van der Moere again at the centre of this break train comeback. I tell you what, we could be on for a comeback here. 13-12 now. That's 2 of Wall City's 4 chances gone begging. Krania really battling to win that space. It's a great catch with the left-hander. You can see there's so much space on that break side. And he finds it beautifully with that. Well, I said a couple of points ago, we saw against Clapham that Gentle gave up. Then they were able to go on them themselves. Very, very strong team mentally. They do not give up. They are confident in themselves, confident in what they can do. And they've given up. I mean, the scoring for the second half looks absolutely wild. There's a break for Wall City, then a hold for Gentle, 5 in a row for Wall City, and now 3 in a row for Gentle. Crazy game so far. After a fairly serene first half, only 3 breaks in the half, both teams executing pretty well. This second half has been all over the shop, but very entertaining as we see another strong D-line out for the Belgians. This game's Universe. Landed Krania with the disc. Pull. You see Andre Ritter on offense. Odia Rogers still playing in that centre handler spot. And the disc does come to Ridlow. Ridlow's looking for an option. He goes deep. Again, that's hanging. It's De Krania against Schleur again. And Schleur gets his hand to it but can't bring it in. Wall City, sudden after playing most of the game, able to take whatever the defence is giving them, taking 5-10 metre gains, instead of switch to being a bomb it deep aggressive team. And that's 2 in a row to Schleur that have knocked him off. De Krania, I think, knows he's not getting there, doesn't even go up for that one in the end. But because he goes up so early, I think he just forces Schleur to do well. Schleur gets a hander, but it would have been a very, very tough catch, and he can't reel it in. So here we go. Can Gentle bring us to Universe? It's with Lander De Krania now. Said it before, he's not shy of sending those dips up to the end zone if he needs to. He doesn't have many options here. He eventually does find one in the backfield. It's with a 4-y. De Krania's gone. I think shots are going up there, but Conrad Schleur sticks out a hand and knocks that one away. De Molinari, I think, saw exactly what I saw. De Krania had space there from Basov, but leaning over to his left, Conrad Schleur knocks that one away. That could be a huge turnover. The Wall City O-line really under the cosh, but that is huge for them. Kay goes across the field. Find Rogers. Rogers down the sideline to Schleur. And Schleur makes a Ridlow. It hits him in the hands and he drops it in the end zone. That was the game right there. A 4-y. A 4-y with a deep shot now. And there is a wide open Arthur Fuse. That is a Belgian national team player. Wide open. Big comes in from Ridlow on Fuse, but Fuse is able to keep hold of it. Great spot from a 4-y to find Fuse, and now Gentle just outside the end zone. A 4 with the disc. Fakes that lefty scuba, he loves that fake. But instead we got that lefty break, and it's a big bid. Big bid from Heinrichs. On the ins, can't quite see who the Gentle receiver is here. It's De Molinari, I think. And it looks as though Heinrichs is saying he got there first. And De Molinari is agreeing it is a turnover. Good spirit from the Belgian. What a point. We are back in. Heinrichs taps it on the floor. Totally unnecessarily. I assume he's American. Ricketts with the disc. Ricketts looking for an option. Inside shot. Well reeled in the end. I think that's K. It is K, and it's a foul call on a 4-y. A 4-y kind of saw that pop about to happen and tries to stick his hand in the cookie jar. Take an understandable play, but he accepts and it's back with K. Buzz switch. Big rip again from Wall City. This time going towards Basov, and Basov does reel it in. Basov catches it to end this wild game, this wild point. Wall City win 14-12, but Gentle made them work for every piece of that game. A 5-point run to put Wall City all the way on top. Third-year Rogers rips that deep, bat off space. Zuat couldn't quite get there. Just rolled over his head at the last minute. What a game, what a performance from both teams. Wall City with a brilliant run to put themselves ahead, but kudos to Gentle for pushing all the way and getting back into it. Great game to start out Saturday morning. Be more great games for you coming from the Elite Invite in Leuven. But for now, that's it from me, Sean Colfer. I'll be with you later in the tournament. Enjoy the tournament, and I'll see you soon.
I wanna be alive. Everybody dance, don't stop. I just need a minute to find out what I'm feeling, 'cause I'm about to go nuts.